I arrived at my parents' house carrying a tray of rosemary shortbread cookies, still warm in the center. It was supposed to be a simple Christmas Eve. My father, Marcus, had repeated the same line all week. No gifts this year, just family. After 6 years of covering half their expenses, the idea of a no-pressure holiday felt like a breath I had been holding forever. The door swung open before I could knock. My mother, Vivian, smiled at the cookies. "Oh, Alyssa, always thoughtful." Her tone landed softly but never deeply, like someone complimenting a stranger. She took the tray without another word and drifted toward the kitchen. I stepped inside, rubbing the cold from my fingers. Marcus was seated in his leather chair, sipping cider from a mug that said, "World's Best Dad" in fading gold letters. He nodded at me. "Glad you made it on time. We are keeping things light tonight. No gifts, no fuss." "I know. That sounds nice," I said. Before he could answer, the front door slammed open and cold air rushed through the hallway. Sabrina burst in, cheeks flushed, snow glittering across her hair like she had hired someone to place it there. She wore a cream coat that looked like the kind of thing an actress would wear in a winter commercial. "Everyone!" she sang, dragging in 2 glossy boxes. "You will not believe the day I had." Vivian rushed to her, her voice suddenly bright and high. "Oh, sweetheart, let me help you with those." Marcus stood up instantly. "You look incredible, Sab. Big week for you, huh?" Sabrina winked. "Wait until you see what I got." I blinked. "I thought we were not exchanging gifts." Sabrina barely heard me. She tore into the first box, tissue paper flying like confetti. A structured black purse emerged, all clean lines and gold hardware. Even from several feet away, I knew exactly what it was. A designer bag worth over $3,000. Vivian clasped her hands. "Try it on, sweetheart." The second box revealed a mirrorless camera lens, one of the G-Master models that cost well over $1,000. Sabrina squealed. "This is going to change everything for my channel." Marcus grinned like he had personally engineered her success. "You earned it. You have that spark." Vivian reached for a third box, a small velvet one. "And this is from both of us." Inside lay a diamond pendant that caught every light in the room. They all leaned in, admiring how it shimmered against Sabrina's throat. I waited for a glance, a nod. Any sign someone remembered I was in the room. My cookies sat untouched on the counter, the steam fading. Sabrina finally looked at me. "Oh, hey, Lise, you brought cookies again," Vivian said gently. "That is her way of giving." Marcus added, "We all contribute differently." Sabrina laughed. "Well, if your thing is cookies, then keep doing your thing." Her words stung more than they should have. They talked about her marketing deals, her latest photo shoot, the growing follower count that had become her oxygen. No one mentioned that the editing software she used was tied to my account. No one remembered the music licensing plan I paid every month. No one saw me standing there holding a mug I had poured myself. When Vivian reached out to tuck a strand of hair behind Sabrina's ear and whispered, "You are unstoppable," something inside me folded in on itself. I slipped my coat on quietly. Vivian looked over. "Where are you going? Dessert is soon." "I should head home," I said. Sabrina frowned. "Why?" "We just started." Marcus shrugged. "She has always been sensitive. Let her go." I opened the door and stepped into the icy air. The cold hit hard, but it felt clearer than the warmth inside. As I walked to my car, one thought pressed steady and sharp in my chest. I was never their daughter. I was their convenience. If you have ever been the one who gives until there is nothing left, keep reading. This part of the story matters. The drive back to my apartment cut through the quiet Portland streets. I kept replaying the scene in my parents' living room, Sabrina glowing under the weight of gifts, my cookies cooling untouched. Marcus calling me sensitive like it was a flaw tattooed across my forehead. The moment I stepped inside my apartment, I set my keys down and opened my laptop. My hands shook, not from the cold, but from something sharper, the kind of sharp that builds over years. Adobe Creative Cloud was the first tab I opened. Sabrina's email sat bold and bright at the top of the user list. I whispered, "Of course it does." I hovered over Remove User. A text buzzed in. "Sabrina, did you really leave? You ruined the vibe." Mom is annoyed. I ignored it. I clicked Remove. Epidemic Sound came next. Her playlists, curated, branded, polished, filled the dashboard. I had paid for that subscription for over 3 years. Another text came through. Vivian this time. "Your cookies were lovely. We just got caught up in everything." They always got caught up in everything except me. I logged into Hulu. 3 profiles, Viv and Mark, Sabrina's studio, and mine. The last movie I watched was a documentary I never finished because Sabrina borrowed my login during a content emergency. I reset the password and closed the tab. My phone vibrated again. "Marcus, you made your point. Put everything back." I clicked Remove Devices, then Save Changes. Next came the family phone plan, 5 lines under my name. Mine, my parents', Sabrina's, Derek's. A plan that cost enough to be its own rent payment. I opened the account dashboard and whispered, "This is not my responsibility anymore." I started removing lines. First Derek's, then Sabrina's, then Vivian's and Marcus's. Each confirmation screen asked if I was sure I wanted to proceed. I had never been more sure of anything. As I worked, the messages kept coming. "Sabrina, why is my phone saying invalid SIM? Fix it. I have a brand call in the morning." Vivian, "Honey, just talk to us." Marcus, "We depend on those accounts. Turn them back on. Now." Then Derek, "This is childish. Grow up." Their voices sounded the same in text as they did in person, certain that I would fold, the way I always did. But I did not. The final thing I opened was the shared credit card. I had added them as authorized users 6 years ago after Marcus lost his job. I expected gratitude, maybe boundaries. Instead, I watched the charges pile up. Sabrina's camera equipment, Derek's leather jacket, even my parents' groceries. I clicked Remove Authorized Users one by one. Derek vanished, Sabrina vanished, Vivian and Marcus vanished. My phone rang again. "Sabrina." I let it go to voicemail. A second later, a new message from her appeared. "If you want to sabotage my career, at least admit it. I have a deadline tonight. You are ruining everything." I stared at those words. Not one of them asked if I was okay. Not one of them recognized that those accounts had been built on my back. I typed 3 words into a new note on my laptop. "My life back." As I saved the document, another text from Marcus flashed across the screen. "You are making a mistake. Fix the accounts before morning." I closed my laptop gently, almost tenderly, as if it were something alive. Tonight, for the first time, I had chosen myself, and something inside me shifted, steady, quiet, irreversible. I woke before sunrise. The kind of waking that comes from a mind still running even after the body stops. My phone was face down on the nightstand, the screen buzzing every few minutes. I did not reach for it. I opened my laptop instead. If last night was instinct, today needed to be evidence. I pulled up 6 years of statements. Rows and rows of numbers stared back at me, each one a small bruise I had ignored. The first item was Adobe Creative Cloud. I whispered, $70 a month for 3 years. More than $2,000 gone in silent installments. Next came Epidemic Sound. Vivian once said, "Sabrina needs clean audio. It helps her build her brand." I scrolled through the charges. Another $1,000 gone. I clicked into the credit card logs. The first unauthorized charge appeared immediately. A camera lens costing nearly $900. Then a leather jacket Derek insisted he needed for a business pitch, which cost over $1,300. Groceries, studio lights, overnight shipping fees. Each one carried a quiet memory of someone telling me it was urgent. I traced my finger along the list. "This is all mine," I said softly. Every line. A message popped up from Sabrina. "I lost 2 hours of editing because of you. Are you proud of yourself? I minimized her words and opened another tab. My bank's fraud alert page. Before I could type anything, a charge caught my eye on the credit report summary. Best Buy credit account, opened 2 years ago. I froze. I had never opened a Best Buy account. I clicked for details. The purchases were unmistakable. A 400-inch television, 2 studio lights, a microphone set, and a gaming laptop. Items delivered to my parents' address. My breath caught. They used my social security number. Not just used me, they became me on paper. The apartment felt too still. I grabbed my phone and called the number on the fraud website. A woman answered, calm and professional. How can I help today? I need to report an account opened without my consent, I said. My voice shook. I can see where the items were delivered. Do you recognize the address? She asked. I swallowed. Yes. Then we should file this immediately. As she guided me through each step, another text from Vivian appeared. We heard from Sabrina. This is childish. Restore the accounts and stop causing problems. My pulse thudded in my ears. I am filing the report today, I told the woman on the phone. Please mark it urgent. When the call ended, I saved every file, screenshots, statements, receipts, into a new folder labeled Kent Family, Account Log. My laptop chimed with a new voicemail from Marcus. His tone was clipped. Alyssa, this behavior is out of line. We need those accounts back. You have always handled the finances. That is your role. I stared at the screen. Not anymore. I printed the final fraud confirmation and set it beside me. The paper felt heavier than it should, but solid. Real. Another buzz from Sabrina lit my phone. If you wanted attention, you got it. Congratulations. I closed the laptop slowly, a steadiness settling into my chest. They might not have noticed it yet, but the balance had shifted. For once, the numbers were finally on my side. By late morning, my phone had become a constant vibration against the table. I finally flipped it over. Notifications flooded the screen. Mentions, tags, message requests. Sabrina had decided to make me the villain of her day. Her story was a soft-lit video of her sitting in her studio, eyes wide with practiced sadness. My heart is heavy today, she said. Someone close to me pulled the rug out from under my work. I am trying to stay positive, but when your own family sabotages you, it hurts. No name, but everyone knew who she meant. Comments rolled in underneath. Cut toxic people out. Protect your peace, girl. Some sisters are jealous. I turned the sound off. My phone buzzed again. Vivian, you are humiliating us. People from church follow Sabrina. This looks terrible. Marcus followed seconds later. You made your point. Put everything back the way it was. This is unnecessary. I typed nothing. A call came in from Derek. I let it ring out. Then another text appeared. You made my phone shut off while I was in line at the bank. Grow up and restore it. I exhaled slowly and pushed my laptop open. Sabrina's vague sob story didn't change the numbers. It didn't erase 6 years of silent withdrawal from my life. While I uploaded the fraud documents, another call came in. Sabrina this time. I answered. Her voice was already sharp. You destroyed my editing workflow, Alyssa. I had a brand meeting this morning and I looked unprepared. You were using my software, I said. I paid for it. You should have warned me first. I told you for years that the accounts were temporary. She scoffed. You love playing martyr. You want everyone to think you are the giving one. Well, congratulations. You ruined my week. I tightened my grip on the phone. I did not ruin anything. I stopped paying for you. Silence. Then, Mom said you snapped last night. Mom is wrong. Sabrina's tone shifted, colder. Fix this by tonight, Alyssa, or I am posting again. The call ended without goodbye. I leaned back and stared at the ceiling. For a moment, the weight of all 3 of them pressed against my ribs, their certainty that I would bend, the entitlement woven into every message, every command. Another vibration. This time, a voice message from Vivian. Alyssa, I do not know what you are trying to accomplish. You embarrassed us in front of your sister's followers. You are acting irrationally. Families support each other. Turn the subscriptions back on. I replayed her final sentence. Families support each other. She did not mean the words. She meant I support them. My hands steadied as I closed every open tab except the fraud report page. One box remained unchecked. Submit official dispute. My thumb hovered only a second before clicking. A new notification popped up immediately. Marcus again. Your mother is crying. Are you proud of that? I set the phone face down. Their noise kept rising, but inside me, something kept settling, clear, calm, and unmoving. They could shout from every direction. I was not turning anything back on. By early afternoon, the knocking shook my entire door frame. Sharp, insistent, nothing like the impatient tapping my family used when they wanted something. I froze. The knocking came again, followed by a firm voice. Portland Police, welfare check. I opened the door slowly. 2 officers stood there, their expressions neutral but alert. Behind them, my parents lingered at the edge of the walkway. Vivian wringing her hands theatrically, Marcus stiff as stone. The taller officer spoke first. Are you Alyssa Kent? Yes. We received a call expressing concern about your safety. Vivian stepped forward immediately. She has been acting erratically. She shut off our phones, our accounts, everything. She left our home last night without explanation. Marcus added, we did not know if she was stable. My throat tightened at the word stable. I am fine, I said. Nothing is wrong. Vivian's voice trembled. Honey, just tell them. You have been under so much pressure. We are worried you might hurt yourself. The way she said it, soft, practiced, made something cold settle in my chest. I am not a danger to myself, I said. And shutting off accounts is not a crisis. They were all under my name. The shorter officer nodded slightly. We just need to confirm that. I opened the door wider so they could see I was alone and calm. I canceled financial accounts that belonged to me. That is all. Vivian gasped. She is lying to you. She has been acting out of character for weeks. Marcus pointed at my phone on the table. She will not answer our calls. She is isolating. This is not normal. Before I could respond, footsteps hurried up the stairs. Lila Monroe appeared, coat half-zipped, hair wind-tossed. She reached me quickly. Alyssa, are you all right? Vivian folded her arms. And who is this? Lila faced the officers. She is fine. She is setting boundaries with a family that has financially depended on her for years. That is not instability. That is pressure. Vivian snapped. You do not know us. Lila didn't blink. I know this pattern. The taller officer turned back to me. Are the accounts you shut down legally in your name? Yes. And the phone lines? All under my billing information. Marcus stepped forward. She agreed to manage everything. She is responsible for us. No, I said. I helped you. I never agreed to be your provider forever. The officers exchanged a quiet look. Then the shorter one said, Ma'am, if the accounts are in her name, she is within her rights to close or modify them. This does not meet the criteria for a wellness intervention. Vivian's face twisted. So that is it? You just leave? She is tearing this family apart. Lila touched my arm gently. She is taking her life back. Marcus pointed at me, voice cold. You are making a mistake. The officers stepped away, giving a formal nod. Stay safe, ma'am, and if you feel pressured or threatened, call us. When they were gone, Vivian stared at me with wounded fury. You will regret this. Do not come asking for help later. I held her gaze. I have never asked you for help. She flinched just slightly. Lila guided me inside and closed the door behind us. My heart was racing, but something in me had gone impossibly still. For the first time, they had tried to use the law to control me. And for the first time, it had not worked. 2 days passed before anyone in my family stopped shouting long enough to feel the consequences. I did not reach out. But word found me anyway. The first call came from Sabrina. Her voice was thin, stretched. "I missed a deadline," she said without greeting. "The beauty brand pulled the contract. $6,000 gone." I heard her swallow. "They said the video looked unedited. I could not even open my files without Adobe." "You were using my subscription," I said. "You could have waited," she snapped. "You cost me money." "You cost me 6 years." Her breath hitched, but she hung up before answering. An hour later, Vivian called. "Your father and I cannot log into Hulu," she said, each word shaking with resentment rather than confusion. "We tried signing up ourselves, but the card kept declining." "I thought you managed your own expenses," I said. "We thought you cared," she shot back. Marcus's voicemail followed soon after. His tone was clipped, irritated. "Your mother and I are trying to organize our finances. There are late notices we have never seen before. Why were you handling all this without telling us?" I blinked at the phone. They had crafted the story so tightly in their minds that they truly believed I had created their dependence. I answered anyway. "You asked me to take over when Dad lost his job. You never took it back." A long silence stretched across the line before he said, "You should have reminded us," and hung up. By evening, Derek's number appeared. He exhaled loudly. "I am calling to say we are struggling because of you. I asked 3 friends for small loans and they all said no. My card declined at the grocery store." "You were an authorized user on a card you never paid," I said. "You are being dramatic," he replied. "Just turn it back on for a week." "No." He muttered a curse before the line went dead. Later, Lila came over with takeout and sat at my kitchen table while I filed the last fraud document. "You are doing everything right," she said quietly. "It does not feel right," I admitted. "It will later." As I closed my laptop, another message from Vivian appeared. "We hired an accountant. Our bill is over $230 and we cannot afford it. Why are you doing this to us?" I placed the phone face down. For once, the weight in my chest did not grow. It lifted, piece by piece. Their world was shaking because they had built it on me, and I had finally stepped out. The next morning, I opened my laptop and created a new spreadsheet titled My Future. The blank cells were waiting for me. Quiet and simple in a way my family had never been. I typed the first line, "Watercolor workshop, $150. It looked strange, spending money on something that had nothing to do with survival, nothing to do with anyone else's needs. I added another line, "Weekend at Cannon Beach, $500. Then, emergency savings, $300 per month. Meditation app, $30. Sketchbook and brushes, $40. Lila arrived with 2 coffees and set one beside my hand. "Looks like progress," she said. "I am trying," I answered. "You are doing more than trying." She studied the spreadsheet. "You have room to breathe now." Before I could respond, my phone buzzed. "Vivian again. Your father and I cannot afford the phone plan without you. We had to buy temporary prepaid cards. They are expensive." "This is unnecessary." Lila raised an eyebrow at my expression. "Let me guess. Guilt?" "They think I am punishing them," I said. "You are not. You are refusing to be used." The next vibration came from Marcus. "We cannot handle all these bills at once. You made this harder than it needed to be." I typed back 2 words, "Handle them." I hit send before I could second guess it. Several minutes later, Sabrina's name lit the screen. She launched straight in. I tried re-editing the video. Without the software and audio tracks, it looks amateur. Brands are backing off. I had to turn down a partnership today. "I am sorry that happened," I said, "but I will not fix it." "You have always fixed it." Her voice cracked, only slightly. "Mom said you are just overwhelmed. We can talk about it later." "Maybe you can turn everything on again for a month." "No." The word left me steady. "It is over, Sabrina." She inhaled sharply. "You used to care about my success." "I cared about you. You used my care to build your success." The silence stretched between us. Finally, she whispered, "You are different." She hung up before I could answer. Lila leaned back in her chair. They still expect the old version of you. I do not even recognize that version, I said. There was a long, quiet moment, and then my phone buzzed again. Vivian this time. We want to meet, just us. No arguing. It is time to fix this. I stared at the message for a long moment. Lila watched me carefully. You do not owe them a meeting. I know, I said, but I think I need one. Then go in prepared, she said. Not to be convinced, just to be clear. I closed the spreadsheet. The new numbers felt like small pieces of solid ground under my feet. For the first time in years, the money I spent was mine, and the decision I was about to make would be mine too. I agreed to meet them at a small cafe a few blocks from my apartment. I chose the seat with my back to the window where I could see both of them walk in. Vivian arrived first, her mouth pressed into a thin, practiced smile. Marcus followed, jaw tense, shoulders rigid. Vivian sat down quickly. Thank you for coming. We want to fix this. Marcus folded his hands. This has gone on long enough. We are a family. We should not be treating each other like enemies. I kept my voice even. I did not start a war. I ended a pattern. Vivian's eyes narrowed. You humiliated your sister. Her income is suffering because you shut off her tools. I shut off tools I paid for, I said. She needed them, Vivian insisted. I needed boundaries, I replied. Marcus leaned forward. You are being dramatic. You always handled things before. Why stop now? Because I finally understood something, I said quietly. You never saw what it cost me. Vivian tapped the table, frustrated. We depended on you. That is what families do. They rely on each other. No, I said. You relied on me. I relied on no one. Sabrina appeared then, slipping into the last chair. Her eyes were tired, ringed with sleeplessness. I lost another partnership yesterday, she said. Thousands of dollars gone. You could have warned me, Alyssa. I warned you 6 years ago, I said. When I said the accounts were temporary. You did not mean it, she said. You always helped. I helped because I loved you, I said. You took that love and turned it into obligation. The table went silent. Vivian finally exhaled. So what now? Do you want us to beg? Would that make you feel better? I do not want anything from you, I said. I want peace, and I want my life back. Sabrina shook her head slowly. You changed, Alyssa. I grew, I corrected. Marcus's voice hardened. If you walk away from us like this, do not expect us to be there when you regret it. I will not regret choosing myself, I said. I stood. None of them followed. Outside, the air was crisp. I walked until the noise of the cafe faded behind me. That weekend, I took the trip I had written into my budget. Cannon Beach was quiet. The kind of quiet that feels like room to breathe. I sat on the sand with a sketchbook and let the colors move across the page in slow, gentle strokes. I thought about every account I had closed, every boundary I had set, every moment I had chosen myself over their expectations. Some endings are loud, mine was steady. If you have ever had to draw a line with your family, if you have ever taken your life back after years of being pulled thin, keep going. Your peace is not selfish. It is necessary.